They've continued to work and grow and implement their program and are setting the foundation for what they want to get accomplished here over the next couple of seasons.
I think one of the most intriguing teams this offseason is the Miami Dolphins.
The Dolphins have the capital to do whatever they want.
They're competing and building a culture.
I believe in team. I would say that. If you want to strive to do something great as a group, you got to work together.
You have a plan, you stay true to the plan, you execute the plan. The Dolphins, this is how you turn around a franchise, like this.
We're trying to build a team that's going to win right now, and we'll be very aggressive.
Welcome to the field, your Miami Dolphins.
We're looking for guys who are tough, who are smart, who are competitive, love to play.
They have landed some big fish. Love what the Miami Dolphins did. You're trying to build something there.
Fitzpatrick throws to the end zone. It is Parker. Darnold never saw the pressure coming, and he is leading. Gesicki wide open. Touchdown.
Let's have some fun and play together, man. Win on three, win on me. 1, 2, 3, win.
If you can get a group of young men to band together, to believe in one another, to practice and prepare at a high level, then you'll win ball games.
Big man, touchdown, picked off by Bobby McCain.
What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? EM's got goosebumps, and we're rolling here with a little bit of
sorry about that.
A little bit of a moderator round table for tonight here because, guys, the irony is not lost on us. Where someone out here was declaring he was having the best camp yesterday, and he was a starting quarterback, and now today, news has broke that the Miami Dolphins are fielding offers for Josh Rosen, who's, let's be honest with ourselves, QB3 at best right now. So let's get it right into it. We won't mess around here. I'll go over a few of the reports, then we'll talk about it, guys. All right, so it broke this morning about 11:30 with Adam Schefter reporting with Miami's rookie quarterback Tua Tagovailoa healthy. Key thing, guys, they are identifying Tua Tagovailoa being healthy as one of the reasons why. The Dolphins have fielded trade inquiries in recent days for former first-round pick Josh Rosen per league sources. In an upcoming weekend of moves, Rosen could be on the move again. Then that was followed up with Barry Jackson not too long after, and he came through and he said, to follow up on that Schefter report, a league source confirms to me that the Dolphins are very much open to trading Josh Rosen, who has no realistic long-term future here. Fitzpatrick could return in 2021 with Tua as a starter. No way Dolphins exercise enormous 2022 option on Josh Rosen. It then continued to snowball, guys, because this is clearly a hot topic in Dolphins community today. I mean, and why wouldn't it be? And then even NFL Update got in on it, and I know a lot of you guys know who they are. And they said the Dolphins have been fielding calls from teams interested in trading for former first-round quarterback Josh Rosen per Adam Schefter. Rosen is currently slated to be the number 3 quarterback in Miami behind Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua Tagovailoa. And then, the guys, let's go over right before I get everyone's thoughts here. There was a pretty interesting thing. Cameron Wolfe then dropped a little bit of an article here. So let's go over what Cameron Wolfe said today. And he said, the Miami Dolphins have fielded trade inquiries in recent days about former first-round pick Josh Rosen. League sources tell ESPN's Adam Schefter. Rosen could be on the move for the second time in his young NFL career as rookie quarterback Tua Tagovailoa has proved healthy so far in training camp. Rosen has been part of a 3-man quarterback competition in training camp with Ryan Fitzpatrick as the front runner to start in week 1. Brian Flores hasn't announced an official decision on the starting and backup jobs, but the Dolphins have seen enough so far in camp to make Fitzpatrick and Tua Tagovailoa their 2 active quarterbacks on game day. So, in an upcoming weekend of transactions, Rosen could be on the move. It could be a second trade in the past 17 months. Fitzpatrick, Tagovailoa, and Rosen were all participating in the Dolphins practice on Thursday, though. So a little bit here, it just goes on to say the move for Josh Rosen is a move that hasn't worked out so far in Miami, and there isn't a clear path for Rosen to become a starter again with the Dolphins. So guys, the question over the weekend is what value can the Dolphins salvage in a trade for Rosen? And I know I put it up here, and I'll add all this to it. Was I really that crazy when – actually, before I pitch that, let's bring up what our boy Rhino provided here, because Rhino linked to Sun Sentinel, and then I'll get into what I was going to say, and I'll leave it open to you guys after that. So the Sun Sentinel, guys, because a key thing that you guys haven't seen mentioned yet, Rhino, say the name that hasn't been mentioned yet.
Omar Kelly and Ruddick.
Jake Ruddick, guys, if you remember a little over a week ago, Jake Ruddick did come in for a visit. And it seems that he might have come in for a second one, and they're now going through the COVID testing stage. So anyways, according to ESPN, the Dolphins are fielding offers for the former UCLA standout that Miami traded a 2nd and 5th round pick to the Arizona Cardinals for during the 2019 offseason. A major indicator that a move might be made this weekend was the fact Jake Ruddick, who spent last season as Miami's practice squad quarterback, was at the facility getting tested for COVID-19, which is a precursor to him being signed. Ruddick, who was released at the start of training camp, had previously undergone a COVID-19 test but wasn't signed. And what they're highlighting there is last week when he came in, they gave him a COVID test, but they didn't sign. And it sounds like, guys, they brought him back for a second time this week, and he's just undergone a second COVID test. And it says the Dolphins likely won't get much for Rosen, who started 16 games the previous 2 seasons, throwing for 2,845 yards, 12 touchdowns, 19 interceptions, while completing 54.8% of his passes. So, guys, if you remember, I sat up here, and I pitched to everyone. If you do the timeline, he had a 75-yard touchdown to Jakeem Grant. The next day, the Tua Tagovailoa video emerged of him throwing the out route or the slant, whatever it was. And Josh Rosen was in the background throwing a go route. And I pitched the idea that maybe they're playing the game and they're trying to up this guy's value. You look at, and then what was the thing they did after he had a few good couple of days? Within a week, they had reared back and reined back all of his reps and all of his snaps. And let's be honest, if it wasn't for Fitzpatrick having to leave and because of grief for his mother, Josh Rosen might not have gotten any snaps at the scrimmage with the way the second week had been going, because he was only throwing the ball, from what we understand, about 5 times at practice in 11-11s. They weren't giving him reps. More reps were being given to Tua Tagovailoa. So all that said, was I really that – and I'll start off with you, EM. Was I really that far-fetched in pitching my little theory that it looks like they're playing the game so they can up the value of Josh Rosen?
It's a possibility. I can't definitively 100% say that you're entirely accurate with your theory, but I will say this: it's about damn time. It is about time. Man, this is the first I've heard that Jake Ruddick situation.
You highlighted it. You might have been on the show where it was a week ago where I brought up how Jake Ruddick visited. I think Havoc was on the show. I know that. Rhino might have been on it too, but you might not have been on it. But yeah.
That is interesting, because if you go back to around, I would say, October of last year. If you recall, reason of myself being on another platform, this is what we thought the plan would be. Okay, this is pre-draft. This is this go back to October. That we thought, fast forward to the offseason, we thought Tua would be the selection. And because the Dolphins had made a future contract investment in Jake Ruddick, we thought that he would be the third guy because we all agree. We can all agree that we anticipated Ryan Fitzpatrick being the starter. So it looks like that plan is starting to come to fruition, and it's about time. This is for me personally. And it's not an indictment on Josh Rosen, a person, because again, I don't know him from a can of paint. I'll say that again, but I just want this whole Josh Rosen narrative put to bed because again, I'm clear again. I just want Tua's transition to the field and to this organization and to the NFL to be as smooth as possible. He's the future, okay? And I just want that transition to be as smooth as possible. And the quicker, I'll say again, the quicker we move away from Josh Rosen, in my opinion, I think the better off we'll be as a team and a fan base. It seems like right now, with all of this coming public now and the paper trail being established, I fully anticipate Josh Rosen to be gone by the weekend.
I just want to go over what you said, EM, because a little more context to why me and EM were saying this, and people were laughing at us. The reason why we said this about Jake Ruddick, guys, is because when you sign that futures contract, you are no longer practice squad eligible. And if you go back to the preseason, Jake Ruddick played really well in the preseason. Now, we're not out here saying he's the second coming of Dan Marino, but it looks like, and I've highlighted this about why I would have kept him around. Two things. He showed that he's willing to adapt and play well under whatever system we ask him to take part in, whether it was Chad O'Shea's system last year or Chan Gailey's this year. And then on top of that, and here's the key thing, Josh Rosen still believes he can say he's growth and development, but the competitor still believes he's a starting or franchise quarterback in the NFL. Jake Ruddick has accepted his role as a backup in the NFL. That's a different mind frame. That's a totally different energy. Again, I loved Josh Rosen's Zoom. End of the day, though, your competitor, we heard what you said when you were taking a 10th overall. You thought that was even too low for you. We know you think you're a franchise quarterback, even if you think you got to better your game. We don't need a couple guys in that room thinking they're a franchise quarterback, bro. We need because the competition is over. Training camp is over. So we don't need that competition going through it because guess what? There's not very many padded practices when the season starts, guys.
Flo said they're working on New England already this week.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Padded practices when the season starts are very limited. It's all film room, mental reps, and walkthroughs. That's what it is, man. So especially when you get beyond the halfway point. So there's going to be no competition this year. Next year, you bring in a quarterback, whether it's a late round draft pick or a UDFA or whatever, and that guy can compete in the competition. But this year's competition, we all already know it's Fitzpatrick, and it's clear the Dolphins have seen enough where they have stated Tua Tagovailoa is quarterback 2 heading into day 1. Havoc.
Shout out to Australia. Australia's in the comments. Shout out to Australia. There are a number of things at play, and I think it's a number of things since at least I've been a part of this community. I've said from day one, there will, like what Flora said, there's going to be a quarterback competition. Well, competition means different things to different people. Competition to Ryan Fitzpatrick means just don't lose your job. A competition to Tua Tagovailoa means just stick with the plan and do what we tell you and follow our development cycle. Quarterback competition to Josh Rosen means you have to come to camp dressed to impress. You're not. If you have 9 lives, you're on live. You're on number 9 right now. If you don't come dressed to impress, we're gonna pull the plug because at a certain point, we can't let you put bad tape out there. And so I think, he came out hot as fish grease, throwing bombs all over the place.
Can we really say that he was hot as fish grease? I mean,
hey, I'm talking about day one. He was a star of day one. He was the star of day one. And I think the Dolphin staff, they're looking for him to show that continuity, that consistency. And as soon as his play, began to fall off over a number of days, and you see into the second week of training camp, reserved to between 5 and 10 passes and a lot of handoffs, writing's on the wall. So, and I think it just confirms what we've been saying for a number, for a good amount of time, is that if he has a future in the NFL, it's more than likely not in Miami. And I was looking at something earlier, looking at David Carr, actually, a guy who had a terrible rookie season, got hit more than any other rookie quarterback ever at the time. And I looked up and I saw he was an 11-year veteran in the league. You would have thought he fell off the map, but no, he had quite the career. So this isn't a death wish. This isn't a death blow.
Nothing wrong with being a backup in the NFL.
No, there's nothing wrong with being an NFL player, period, at all. So if he can go somewhere where he can compete and, perhaps try and get in the game, then that's going to have to be the move for him. Now, in terms of getting compensation back, we're not getting a second back. That's just don't even put that as an expectation. Getting anything is I think getting the best offer, since it sounds like there may be multiple suitors. Getting the best offer, I say probably a 5th or a 6th at this point. But hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. But either way, this weekend they're going to move off of him, it appears.
If Chris Kirk can get a 5th for him, give that man the GM of the Year award right now. Give it to him.
You call that man Harry Potter.
Give it to him.
I just think, people are going to be upset and try and blame this move that Rosen that they did. But I fundamentally agree with the concept of doing what Greer did. I thought it was a good idea. I know we gave a 2nd and a 5th, but the way I look at it is we got forget the exact trade, but we got a 2nd from the Saints. So basically we put a 5th to get him is the way I look at it. And if we can get that 5th back, I think it's a good thing. And I think the writing is definitely on the wall. There is a lot of smoke coming out. And if this is not real for whatever reason, Flo will have to explain that, because this is like putting the fan base in a situation and an opinion, forming an opinion that shouldn't be formed if it's not true. And if it wasn't true, he should have gone after today and made it clear. So I'm assuming it is true. And I'm assuming that a lot of reporters were getting a lot of information. And when you bring in, what's his name from ESPN? He used to be on Fox.
Adam Schefter.
If you bring him in, that guy's not going to put his name on just anything.
That's right.
No, I agree. He's not a tool.
I agree.
So
yeah,
we just
a matter of time.
That's right. That's it. And I think Ruddick is such a good thing. My concept and my idea is when you have a young quarterback, a franchise quarterback that you're bringing in, you don't want to bring in the quarterback competition too early, is my view. I would say real competition, if he's not doing well by year 3, you think about that. I think that's the earliest you would ever bring in real competition for a quarterback into a position. So I think a Ruddick is perfect for him. They can come up together in a way and bounce things off of each other and work together and be a good team and get good results for us. That's the way I view that at the quarterback situation.
I think Ruddick can give us what Josh Rosen gave us. I truly
probably more, because he's mobile.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably
more.
Well, I mean, a rookie in his 10th, 11th practice at a scrimmage was giving you what Josh Rosen in his 3rd year was giving you.
And reason, Havoc was talking, and I think he hit on it. I think when the reports were coming out a little not as positive with Rosen, they kind of pulled him back, and I think it might have been for PR reasons.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, but I mean that specific timing of pulling it back,
That's what I said. I said do the timeline, right? He had the 75-yard throw to Jakeem Grant. They released the video of Tua. Then all of a sudden, a couple of days later, they started rearing back his snaps because they didn't want bad press to come out because they realized that they had what they had, which was the same as last year. That's what I was saying when I was talking about doing all this timeline, right? Like, you got to remember, man, we were making other platform creators out here privy to the PR game to Josh Rosen last November when we were having to explain to people who are out here in this community that the answers of Josh Rosen is improving every day, we were pointing out that, there's not even padded practices going on. What's he improving on right now? But what he's not, you can't see, because like I said, this year when Quentin Riddle came on, you can't see, and that's why Omar had to end up flip-flopping. And that's why I keep highlighting Omar, saying on day 2, it looks like he's processing it better. And then on day 4, Omar's saying, his processing still sucks and he's got all the same problems.
Or he was in on it.
It's because you ain't. Well, if he was in on it, he wouldn't have come out and said, "Oh no, he's got all the same problems."
Yeah,
he would have been saying
that's just Omar Kelly.
Good point.
So here's the thing, bro. Like with Josh Rosen, like this is not my theory is not far fetched, and like I'm telling you that video of him throwing in the background. Guys, we haven't every other video of Tua that we've seen since then, Josh Rosen standing in the background. But the day after he throws a 75-yard touchdown to Jakeem Grant and a video comes out, he just so happens to be throwing, guess what, EM? Another go route in the background. So one route we keep highlighting he knows how to throw, and he's never had a problem throwing. It's the intermediate and the tight window stuff when we start having the issues with the late reads.
And look, I'll do you one better. Now, this might be the conspiracy theorist in me coming out, but what about they purposely and deliberately released Jake Ruddick, sending a message? We talked about this earlier, sending a message to the rest of the NFL that, okay, we're going to ride with Rosen, and they're trying to project maybe Rosen is improving to maintain or possibly enhance his potential trade value. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, fast forward 2 or 3 weeks, and then according to your theory, again, this is all purely speculation on my part.
But logical speculation, guys. There's the
exactly.
We don't go out and stand on a cliff and make stupid allegations. Because here's the thing, EM. I highlighted Omar Kelly and what he said on Twitter about him then him stepping backpedaling what he said about the processing, right? Guess what, EM? It was only a few days after Omar said that the Rosen snaps, because we started getting into week 2, got pulled too, because they saw, oh crap, the press is seeing what the press was high on him the first couple of days. Oh crap, we can't mask it anymore. The press is starting to see it. We can't have him getting 15 reps and killing his value. And then the scrimmage stuff. And then the thing is, here's the thing. When Fitzpatrick left on the first scrimmage, on the 11-11 day, the first one to grieve for his mother, and then when he left on the scrimmage, the realistic thing is the guy in year 3 is going to step up, not the guy in year 3 is going to put up similar stats to a rookie.
Right.
I mean, it's an interesting situation.
It wasn't getting any better from a scrimmage to a practice standpoint. They were like, "Yo, we got to get moving on this."
I mean, Rosen, to be honest with you, at the end of the day, Rosen must be terrible. You know what I mean? He must be he must be terrible. I mean, really, at the end of the day. I know we have analytics, we got film study, but damn, man, for 2 franchises to quit, like Rhino alluded to earlier. And when you want to bring in legitimate competition for a quote unquote your quarterback, it's got to be year 3. You know what I'm saying? Right around that. But this kid, I mean, back-to-back years. I mean, he must be a lot worse than what we think he is, to be honest.
Most definitely.
I mean, he is what the tape says he is at the end of the day. That's what all football players are judged by.
You are what you are.
You are your tape. That's a pretty well-known saying. And at a certain point, and this is something I've said consistently as well, is throughout, his career, when people talk about guys like Tua, it always feels like someone's giving you like a unique quote about him. But I think whenever, someone is asked about Rosen, it always gets the feeling of like a statement that was run through someone that works in public relations. And
I agree 100%.
And there is a reason, and there's a reason for that, and because I think guys on teams know you don't go out there and trash your own teammates. You ain't going to tell the press the truth. Unless a guy is going out the door, you ain't going to tell the press the truth.
Unless you want to leave.
You're going to give them, hey, everyone's working hard. Everyone's trying hard. Everyone's doing what they need to do. But at a certain point, when no one's telling you the truth, you got to look deep. You got to dig deeper, and you got to have a critical ear. So when people out here tell you that a quarterback in his second week of training camp that is passing the ball 5 times a practice is the number 1 starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, you have to have a critical ear. You have to understand that perhaps you're not being led down the right path. Perhaps the intention is not to lead you down the right path. So understand that everything is about aesthetics at the end of the day. And the Dolphins brass, like I said, Flores and Greer, they moved together as one. Flores gave Greer the report. Greer said, "This is what the game plan is. You down," and that's now we get to, possibly him being moved out by the end of the weekend.
Oh, I think it's pretty much a done deal. When they brought Ruddy back, I really think this nowhere in the world Greer and Flores is going to bring this much confusion to the organization and to the fan base.
Yeah.
With this, I think it's pretty much a done deal. We'll hear something probably tomorrow morning. And I'm not mad at Chris Greer at all for when he went after him. We gave up a 2nd-round pick. It was low risk, high reward. We got a 2nd-round pick back from the Saints. The team that should be in fault is the Arizona Cardinals. They spent the top 10 pick on probably a 5th-round talent.
Yeah.
And we saw what we had in him. It wasn't good enough. Ruddick, he's a team player. He's willing to adapt to the system. We need that type of guy to be the backup tool for a 10-year career, i.e. Jason Garrett to Troy Aikman. We need that type of guy to be there for him.
Yeah.
And I think it's a beautiful situation for us. Cutting ties with Rosen. I never liked him anyway. Wish him the best. Hope he can steal a lot of money from another franchise.
Probably will. Probably will.
He's been. Hey, man, that dude needs 20. He needs to be locked up for 20 years for his robbery. All he needs is a ski mask and a Mac 10 for how he robbed how he squeezed the Arizona Cardinals and the Miami Dolphins.
They got an APB.
They need to give him 20 years, bro, for that.
If we get a 6th, I'm happy.
Great one, divorce in the comments, bro.
Drop that link.
No, great one. Great one. I'm literally DMing you the link, homie.
Drop that link.
All right.
Don't run, homie. Don't be scared. Come on. Come get it.
Yo, who was
Damn,
it?
homie.
Yo, Rhino, say what you said earlier about Madden. Tell Great One what it is right now.
I forgot. I'm sorry.
Yo.
Hey, man.
Hey, Great One, we were thinking of you because you said, yo, he's such a Rosen fan that he won't even start Rosen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, homie.
Hey, Great One.
I said that actually.
Great one. I'll give you 5 minutes, bro. We can keep talking about Josh Rosen. We can get to 5 minutes.
We ain't going nowhere. No. Let's pause for a minute. Let's wait. Let's wait on the Great One to grace us with his presence.
It's crazy. I want to give
No.
this stat. And guys, I know PFF isn't the gospel, but you also realize PFF, their bread and butter is grading quarterbacks. That's how PFF started. Grading just quarterbacks, and then they branched off. I'm surprised I just saw this today, and I've never used it before. Guys, when someone wants to tell you, oh, well, Josh Rosen has never had a good offensive line, and I gave y'all the numbers. If y'all remember, I gave you the numbers. He went 2-4, and I gave you the numbers when he had all of his starters for the first 10 weeks in Arizona.
Yes.
Josh Rosen with a clean pocket, no pressure, has a career passing grade of 61.9. And to put that in perspective, the average is usually 75 or higher. And then the elite guys grade out in the high 80s, usually early 90s, and with a clean pocket. So just to put that in perspective, a 61.9 grade with a clean pocket is very, very poor. So
yeah, I mean, it's like the great American philosopher 50 Cent said, "Damn, homie, in high school he was the man, homie."
That's true for him too. Yo, that's true for him too. That's
Speaking in high school, huh?
You should have said the great. You should have said, you should have used the government name for that, though, bro. That would have been the extra.
Oh my God.
Oh man,
that's true though, man.
He's spitting facts. He was spitting facts.
Yeah, man.
Damn
it, man.
And I just don't understand. I was telling Reason earlier. We talked earlier this morning. I was observing people going back and forth this morning on Facebook about this kid. You had people actually saying with a straight face, "Oh my God, pardon my language, everybody, but we're fucked if he goes to New England because he's going to make us pay for the next 15 years."
I want him to go there.
Can we get him to go to New England, please?
Please. He said that with a straight face. I mean, this is just not one person. This is like hundreds of people. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh Lord. Is this our fan base? Is this our brothers? Our brothers and sisters? Really? Oh my God. I just have to shake my head at us as a fan base. This is the wagon you want to hit this is the player you want to hit your wagon to. And he's done nothing for this franchise.
That's what I don't
Absolutely nothing.
Those guys know nothing about football.
That's
They just listen to ESPN, how they jock ride the New England Patriots and think everybody that go there is just going to be a magical Hall of Famer. Like Tom Brady wasn't really a good quarterback. I mean, it was Belichick and it was Brady. Like everybody that goes there isn't good. Ask Mohamed Sanu. He just got cut today. Like,
yeah.
It's just, at the end of the day, like I saw a tweet by Omar earlier. He was going back and forth with, a lot of, fans. And he said, I've been saying this all along. He said, at the end of the day, Rosen just doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it, and it's okay. And I've been saying that since day one, and we get killed for it. We've been getting killed for a year. We've been getting killed for it. It's okay. Teams miss on evaluations yearly. Really daily, because they bring players in and out of organizations. A lot of times we just don't never hear about it. Exactly. But they miss on evaluate. Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks. You ever hear him talk about the players that they whiffed on? You know what I mean? And they are as good in terms of player evaluation.
How about Don Shula?
Hey, and you know what? Okay. Even like Bill Belichick, people make a lot of fuss about the fact that he skipped the combine to work out Tyshawn Render. And when you look at the 53-man roster, I don't know if he's favored to make it. Guys miss. People miss on evaluations.
Every year.
It happens. So, at a certain point, you have to understand when you have a Marcus Mariota on your hands and you got to wipe your hands clean with it.
Mm-hmm.
And the sooner the better. You don't want to get to the guy's second contract and then you got to wipe your hands with him.
Dolphins and Ryan Tannehill.
Oh man, you read my mind, Reza.
Mm-hmm.
Put up with that.
But at least with Tannehill,
Tannehill was a solid quarterback, though.
I'll say this.
Wasn't solid when Mike Wallace was around. That's for sure.
I'll say this in regards. I'll say this in regards to he and Josh Rosen. At least Tannehill had physical traits that you can build you can attempt to build a foundation on.
He was athletic.
I say again about Josh Rosen. I don't see any aspect of his game that a coach can look in it. And I think my theory is substantiated by how quickly the Cardinals moved off of him, as well as the Miami Dolphins. There's nothing about this kid's game that you can say, well, damn, we can establish a foundation, and we can we can further our investment in this kid, because I think he's got certain traits that we can build upon. I don't think he has enough of them. And at the end of the day, there's a place in the NFL for those players. They're called, again, backups. They're called backups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't get it. I don't get the loyalty to this player. I don't get the, he didn't have an offensive line. They didn't stop with foolishness, bro. It's ridiculous. It's frustrating.
Yeah, and let's keep it a buck. If Josh Rosen wasn't a first round pick, he'd be looking for CFL tryouts right now. He wouldn't be looking to try out for another NFL team.
The XFL was interested.
He may be looking for XFL tryouts if he wasn't the first round pick. Let's just keep it a buck. I mean, I'm just talking about the tape alone and the evaluations you get from just him in training camp. And once again, starting off real hot, and then you're looking for him to build, and he goes backward. It's like when you're looking for that consistency, you hit that wall. And that wall is like, it's a wall of talent, intangibles, all the tools you need to be successful. A lot of people hit that wall. And he's one of those people that hit that wall. It is what it is. He's probably going to live a very well-financed life.
Hold on.
Yeah, most definitely.
I want to address something. David Trueslayer asked, remember Ocho Stinko? Well, when he was with the Pats, but a great receiver with Palmer, they made a run at the Pats twice. So what happened? What happened was Ocho Cinco's talked about it. The offense was so complicated for him, and we've talked about this. Normally in offenses, the route trees for receivers are about 3 to 4 routes on each tree for these guys. In the New England, the Patriots vary from 5 to 8 depending on what play is being called. So you've got way more extensive route trees, and that was Ocho Cinco's main problem with getting it down in New England. And that was one of the problems we had last year, right? Like one of the reasons why Preston Williams was running like a chicken with his head cut off, like he basically said when he didn't understand the routes, is because how complicated the route trees were in that system. So,
yeah, man. I'll say again, the quicker we move off this, we can put this Josh narrative to bed. I think the better off, because this topic has been extremely divisive. This Tua, Josh Rosen dynamic is, since going back to last year.
Yeah, but this isn't like it's Drew Brees getting replaced by Philip Rivers. This isn't Daniel Jones replacing Eli Manning, guys. Like, I don't understand what the affliction with this guy is.
He's not even as good as Daniel Jones.
We didn't even draft the guy.
That's going to be a shock to a lot of people.
Don't disrespect Daniel Jones like that.
I'm with you.
Look what Damian Deese just said. He's not even a product of our scouting department.
Right.
Guys, he said it. Listen, because again, a couple of these people on this panel, and I think a couple of you guys in the comments weren't around. Me and EM highlighted one of the first things when Chad O'Shea lost his job was because I had been telling people on other platforms that what I had been hearing was Chad O'Shea basically walked into Greer's office and convinced Greer and Flores, hey, we were high on him when I was with the New England Patriots, right? Because all the offensive coaches were high on Josh Rosen during that draft. And he said, I can make it work with him. And the reason why is they saw, in terms of being a pure pocket passer with minimal athleticism like Tom Brady, that's what that system requires, basically. Just have an arm, but you got to be able to anticipate, have ball placement. He doesn't have any of that, but they were really high on him. So what happened was, and people tried to, you remember people tried, that ain't true. And then what happened was when Chad O'Shea got fired, one of the first things that came out was Chad O'Shea, one of the multiple reasons he got fired was he basically convinced this staff that he could make Josh Rosen into a franchise quarterback, and they got what they got after 1 year. add in the fact with how complicated the offense was, how he wasn't a good teacher. He would just say, okay, here's the game plan. He wouldn't lay it out for everyone. So it was multiple reasons, but the Josh Rosen decision did weigh in on the Chad O'Shea departure. So
if you remember,
sucking guy.
And see, O'Shea really had to convince Chris Greer. I can imagine because
because Tua was about to come out, right?
Well, Tua, and also the year before, if you recall, the entire front office absolutely hated the prospect of drafting Josh Rosen.
Yeah,
Tannenbaum, Greer, and Adam Gase. They said absolutely not.
It was Baker or Sam Darnold in that draft the Josh Rosen draft.
Yep.
That's what the names were. It was Baker Mayfield because Gase really liked Baker Mayfield, how he carries himself, and then Sam Darnold because of how talented he is. But I mean, we end up seeing what he did with Darnold anyway. So at least it didn't happen.
Ruined Darnold.
You know, right? But I think at the end of the day, Josh Rosen's the talent. You know, even the draft that he came out in. When you look at the players that were selected before him, and even Lamar Jackson should have been selected ahead of him.
Oh, man.
That's a whole nother argument.
Oh, my
But
gosh.
if you look at the players that were selected ahead of him, they're just more talented guys. And if you look at Kyler Murray, the Cardinals were in a position to draft a more talented player. They opted to do that. The Miami Dolphins were in a situation to draft a more talented player. They opted to do that. At the end of the day, it comes down, it goes back to my argument about the lack of enough of talent. He just don't have it. He just does not have it. So
at all.
I think
that makes
his attitude.
sense.
It was his attitude after he got traded. I think that's what sealed it for them.
I mean, to be honest, I think it's this training camp sealed the deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it was his to win or lose at the end of the day. So, the second, and he was probably on the tightest of ropes. And the second.
Last year,
what were you going to say, EM? You were going to say, I think.
I was going to say that lends more credibility to your theory about Chad O'Shea being fired, because if he's going into Chris Greer and Brian Flores' office and saying, banging the table, I can fix this guy, I can make it work with him, and the fact that he fell so far flat on his face, in addition to all of other, Chad O'Shea's issues like in-game adjustments.
Yeah,
it was Brian Flores was like, no, I need a more experienced guy calling the plays to value to Indiana. Also, they want a more experienced guy to deal with Tua, to get their hands on Tua as well. So that makes sense. That makes perfect sense when you think about it.
Great, nice name, bro.
Great one.
The terrible one.
Rise above the hate is his name right now.
Really?
the terrible one.
What hate?
The terrible one.
I'm disappointed in all of y'all.
Here we go.
Now
the floor is yours, Senator.
Thank you. Now, to address Rhino's comment about as far as why I don't play with Josh Rosen, I'll do what the people want. The people want to see Tua.
It wasn't me, for the record.
Okay, whoever it was, if they're in the comment section, there you go. Because me personally, Tua is some trash in Madden 21 anyway. So yes, he is.
Not on Xbox.
No, he ain't.
Y'all must have played not good teams yet. But let's just go ahead and just get into this whole Josh Rosen issue that we've been having like over the past, year and a half now?
Since he got traded, yeah.
Okay, so let me ask y'all this question. What was your opinion of Jared Goff coming out in 2016?
I wasn't that high on him. I was higher on Carson Wentz.
I thought, me personally, I think, now before I say this, I don't think Jared Goff is like a top 5 quarterback.
Okay, that's fine.
But if you're going by arm talent, Jared Goff can sling the football and put the ball, in places that very few and I mean the upper echelon guys can do. I think he gets treated unfairly in a lot of regards, because if you're going by arm talent, Jared Goff is extremely talented.
He's a bad decision maker, though. He's a bad.
Exactly. But you can see why the Rams made that kind of investment in him.
I mean, Jared Goff is a starting caliber quarterback. I never thought he would be like the super duper all pro, but all the physical talent is there. That's why he was drafted so high.
He won't hurt you. So what I thought of him.
Now, somebody please, since y'all feel like he's fairly decent, pull up his rookie numbers, please.
Oh, they were
terrible. He was under Jeff Fisher, though. I mean,
Jeff Fisher. I don't want to hear that, Damon. No, put it up.
He was under Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher's terrible.
But here's the context of it too. Do y'all remember who his first NFL game was against?
Who was
it?
The Miami Dolphins was his first NFL start. And if you watch what Jeff Fisher did with him that year, because I did, and you really saw it in that first game, it wasn't even intermediate stuff. We're talking like slants and mesh concepts and pure checkdowns. That's all he did year one. He was not pushing the ball down the field like he had started to in year 2 and year 3. Go back and watch the film on year 1 because I watched him in year 1. And even go watch the Dolphins game. He had like 20 attempts and 15 of them were slants.
What was his second year stats, Great One?
Hold on. I'm not done with 2016 Rhinos. Hold your horses. The Rams in 2016 were rated the worst team offense of the decade. Somebody tell me why.
Jeff Fisher.
The team sucked.
I don't want to hear no Jeff Fisher because they went out and they got Andrew Whitworth in free agency. That
obviously wasn't Jared Goff. All of Jared Goff's problems.
Todd Gurley was there. Hang on. Obviously, it was not Jared Goff's. The Rams' issues early on was not Jared Goff centric because Jared Goff has established he has put together a body of work in the NFL, and he took his team to the freaking Super Bowl. So your argument, I think, the direction that you're trying to take this argument in is moot. To be honest with you, how is it moot? Because y'all already wrote him up as a bust after Josh Rosen's first year. If you look at Jared Goff's first year, he was trash too, and he was ranked the worst quarterback, even worse than Josh Rosen in his rookie season, worse than him. So tell me why.
But third year.
Dude, it's literally is. The fact that why did we see Baker's play dip last year? Because Freddie Kitchens didn't know what he was doing out there. Jeff Fisher,
washed up.
He almost ruined Jared Goff in year 1. And I can make the argument with anyone who wants to go with it. He ruined Vince Young. He doesn't.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Jeff Fisher is not a quarterback-friendly.
And look what happened to Steve McNair.
Not done. Look,
that shows how good Steve McNair was.
Playing with broken ribs for years.
I'm not done.
Go ahead, Reese.
Look at what Nick Foles. Nick Foles popped off in Eagles, and he went to the Rams under Jeff Fisher before your boy Jared Goff got drafted, and Nick Foles had arguably his worst year as a starting quarterback in the NFL under Jeff Fisher as well. So I'm going to sit here and say, again, I remember that season very vividly. The context of it was, and this is where the difference was, because I can show you highlights of Rosen pushing the ball down the field with the corner underneath and a safety high, making a throw he shouldn't be making 30, 40 yards down the field. Jared Goff was underneath concepts, check downs, slants. They weren't pushing the ball like that with Jared Goff. That's why that offense, go even watch his debut against us. They couldn't move the ball against us because of the dink and dunk offense they were trying to do that season. Because Jeff Fisher, especially with rookie quarterbacks, he's been known to not trust rookie quarterbacks. He's been known not to even trust year 2, year 3 guys. Again, Jeff Young.
And McNair ain't start to year 3.
But look, even how good Steve McNair was and the level of success that Fisher and Steve McNair had together, in Tennessee. Look at the conservative approach that Jeff Fisher has been known for. He's always been that run the ball first and take a conservative approach with your quarterback. You know what I mean?
They were 31st in the running game. Let me add that too. They were 31st.
What does this have to do with Rosen?
I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Who was our leader rusher in 2018?
But go ahead and say it.
But
Who's
here's
our
the
leading
thing,
rushers?
if you go like I highlighted earlier before you joined, if you go back to 2018, and I can show you a highlight right now with a clean pocket. This man has a 61.9 passing grade with a clean pocket. You know, and I told everyone, I gave everyone what the average is. The average is about 75 or higher. Elite quarterbacks, the upper echelon, are high 80s to early 90s in the clean pocket. This man has a 61.9 passer grade. So that even kills the notion of, because that analytic, and like I said, people can take PFF as gospel or not, but the fact of the matter is PFF is where they are today because they started out grading quarterbacks. Grading quarterbacks has been the bread and butter. Before they did any other position on the football field, it was quarterbacks. That's where they started. That's their specialty. And when you look at that, that is a very alarming rate, because what is that showing you? That he's not even – the tape will tell you this, but the analytics are also telling you he's not flashing even when he gets protection. Yet everyone out here wants to say he's got the worst offensive. And that's cool. I get that. But what have me and Ian always said? Even with poor offensive lines, guys who are worthy of a top 10 pick are going to flash. They're going to have moments that show you. And all people can point to is one thing, a go route. You can't point to tight. You can't point to carving people up over the intermediate level. You can't point to anything that. All you got is a go route, which is one of the easiest, because all that throw comes down to is touch. All you're trying to do is place that in the bucket. You know, based on their speed, you know what hash you're going to throw that ball to. You know when you're going to throw it, where they hit, where they are on the field, when you start to cough it, you're going to know when to throw it. It's a fucking easy read, man. So he's not out here. He's not out here proving anything. And I showed you that RPO clip today where he got interception. And I've stressed what's the number one thing in RPOs. The number one thing for a quarterback is you have to be a quick decision maker. And one of his biggest flaws is he's a terrible decision maker. And now you're going to speed up that process when he's not a good processor. Disaster. That's why you saw him. He had no business making that throw. Usually RPOs have an inside route and a little out and a little boundary route too. So he should have either handed it off, looked it off, or and the problem is you can't even run an RPO with him really because he's not athletic enough. It doesn't come down to 45. It comes down to he's not. So you're limiting the option part because it's either a run by the back or a pass. There's no run by the quarterback as well in that option. So it's really, instead of being a 3-stage RPO, it's a 2-stage RPO under Josh Rosen. And that's why when he looked off the when he looked off the run in that interception against Washington, he really had no choice. He had to make the throw. And he made a bad throw into a tight window that he got picked off. And again, I highlighted it. You know, he's 35 for 145, 487 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions on 145 tight window throws since 2018. And you got no one to blame on that except him. You got 3.4 yards per attempt on those tight window throws, which again ranks 28th out of 32 qualifying quarterbacks. And he's got a 10.6 passer rating, which is dead last out of all 32 on those 145 tight window throws. So, I mean, tight window throws and throws outside the numbers are throws where you can. It's on the quarterback. It's not on the line play.
You shouldn't have got on this. You shouldn't have got on this panel tonight. Great one.
10.6.
You should have stayed in the comments, bro.
All I'm saying is Sean McVay knew what was good because he went out and got Andrew Whitworth the year he came into Los Angeles. So he ain't no damn fool. He knew what was good. I'm just saying the facts are there. You gotta look at the facts.
So you're saying that if you were to put Rosen in a second year in the Rams situation, he would have done as well as Jared. That's what you're saying.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying give him an opportunity to compete. That's all I'm saying.
But he's had two. He's had
three.
At what time in NFL history have you ever seen a quarterback that was drafted in the first round not stay with the team longer than 3 years?
It's happened. I can't remember, but it's very, very rare.
It's.
I mean, how long did Trent Dilfer stay with Tampa Bay?
But don't you? But listen, great one. Don't you think that's more of, you know,
an indicator
an indicator of the lack of talent this kid has? Don't you think?
Marcus Mariota,
really.
he just got released.
Really.
That was his 5th year, if I'm not mistaken.
But
Jamarcus Russell stayed with Oakland for 4 years.
Exactly.
Trent
So what am I
Dilfer.
telling you about Rosen?
Rick Meyer.
What do
Who
I
else?
keep saying? What do I keep saying?
Over.
This kid is just not that talented.
How do we know that? How do we know that?
It's
Two
I'm
teams
just saying.
are about to move away from him.
So
Ryan Leaf.
So you mean to tell me? NFL teams are in the business of just getting rid of talented guys? You know what I mean? For no valid reason. You mean to tell me the Arizona Cardinals looked at him and evaluated him and said, "Damn, this kid has talent." But you know what? I think I'm just gonna take Kyler Murray and we'll just trade him away. And then on top of that, you're not getting a return on what you gave up to trade up to get him in the first place. You think teams are in the business of just disregarding talented players? No, teams invest in talented players.
No,
that's what they do.
No.
That's what they do.
See, I'm so happy you brought that up. Why did Raekwon get traded?
Raekwon McMillan?
Yes, why did he get traded?
In our system.
Durability.
All right, thank you, Damien. Damien got it right. He did not fit our system.
Didn't fit our system.
Thank you.
No,
So does it have to do with Rosen?
So with Cliff Kingsbury coming in, Josh Rosen does not fit Cliff Kingsbury's system.
What about here?
So
Hold on a second.
Hold
Hold on a sec, EM, because I can kill this right away. Kyler Murray didn't fit his system because Kyler Murray had never ran an air raid in his whole life.
Never.
That's what we wanted.
They didn't run that in Oklahoma.
You know why he wanted him? Not because
his physical ability.
Because of his physical ability, and I'll tell you why.
Oh no.
I'll tell you why. He wanted him.
He evaluated him at Alabama. What's this college he went to?
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. He evaluated him at Texas Tech. So now I don't want to hear that. That's who we wanted from the jump.
And I'm about to tell you why he wanted him, bro. Okay, what's the number one? And I'll see if you can even answer this. What's the number one prerequisite with routes in a air raid offense?
Please tell me.
The number one prerequisite is that out of every offense on the collegiate or NFL level, those routes take the longest to develop in air raids.
Exactly.
They're all long developing routes. So and this is why he was sacked 49 times, because the reason why they signed him is because not only is he more talented of an arm, not only does he have a stronger arm as well, but he can extend plays. And what you're going to need with that offense is someone who can extend plays if you're getting subpar line plays because of how long the routes are going to take to develop. That's why Josh Rosen didn't fit, because he's not athletic enough. It didn't come down to his arm or anything like that. It comes down to he's not athletic enough. Same reason why he's not ideal for an RPO heavy scheme.
Exactly.
And again, what a reason just saying goes back to what I'm saying. Obviously, these two staffs that had their hands on him and had him in their program for a year, they saw this kid was limited in terms of his physical traits, and they didn't think he warranted a further investment.
And I don't know if you heard Great One, but All Games told us backstage, and we've told everyone on here, since his shoulder surgery, Josh Rosen only has a 3/4 rotation in his arm as well. He can't even fully rotate it like how he used to before his shoulder surgery, which is why I've highlighted, if you go back and you watch Josh Rosen's film, the strong arm that everyone was telling all of you people in the scouting reports, which is why I wasn't high on him coming out. It's not there, and it hasn't been there since the shoulder surgery, which is why I've highlighted one of his problems of being late reads is because it's a bad habit, because before the shoulder surgery, through high school, through youth football, through his first couple years at UCLA before the shoulder surgery, he developed the habit of he could be a slower processor. He could make his reads later because he could fit the ball in there.
Right.
Arm strength could compensate for the late read. Problem is, he hasn't developed as a better processor, hasn't developed at going through his progressions better, and that's what he needs to do to make up for the zip he lost on the football. And he still has the bad habit of he makes the late read, and he still wants to force the situation when he has no business throwing the football.
Yep.
Agreed.
But my
Josh
thing
Rosen,
is,
I thought rookie quarterbacks are supposed to develop. That's my question. Like, I thought they're supposed to develop. But Josh Rosen's going into year 3, correct? Played.
We held on to Ryan Tannehill for 6 years, 7 years. Why would we make the same mistake again?
Josh Rosen
he hasn't shown progress.
Josh Rosen's told ball game, and he's even said on the Zoom. What has he said? It's on him now. It's not on these other situations. He's told ball game that, and he said that in the Zoom. It's on him right now. You're into year 3. Just like there's going to be no excuses for Sam Darnold after this year. There's going to be no excuses for this guy. There's no excuses why Fitzpatrick goes away twice in a matter of the first 2 weeks, and this Josh Rosen puts up a similar stat line to a quarterback who's only in his first and then second week, when Josh Rosen has real-time live action and of last year's training camp with those ones because he started 3 games as well. There is no excuse for Tua Tagovailoa putting up exact similar minus literally 1 touchdown. They put up almost identical numbers, and you got one guy, his at the first time was, I believe, his 5th or 6th practice in, second time was 11th practice in, while this guy's in his 3rd training camp, in his 3rd year, and like I said, he's got experience with the ones he was working with in the scrimmage against other real live opponents. No excuse, man, whatsoever. I'm sorry. And that's why, if it wasn't telling y'all when his reps were getting this guy, listen, I said this before. I don't know if you heard this. Yo, if Fitzpatrick didn't miss a scrimmage, it's a real possibility Josh Rosen wouldn't have got any snaps at all. Because if you do the timeline for three straight practices leading up to the scrimmage, Josh Rosen was getting 5 passes per 11-11. And every reporter was saying all of his snaps were being given to Tua.
But can I make 3 quick
No, go ahead, homie. Go ahead, homie. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just got 3 quick statements to make. 1, Rosen does not have the arm talent that Jared Goff has. That's the whole situation with that right there. 2, only way I can see Rosen succeed if he goes to a team like maybe Indianapolis with a wall offensive line and indoors, because that arm is not strong enough. And 3, I hate the Jets, but I can't say that if Donald doesn't succeed this year it's his fault, because he has Adam Gase. He proved when he didn't have Mono last year, they won like the last 7 games, 5 to 6 games.
I've highlighted why. Because
Donald has talent, but Gase is the worst quarterback. I mean,
I highlighted why you started seeing Sam Darnold play better. It's because the first half of the series, again, Gase was running almost an air raid, but he was taking out the underneath concept and the check down routes. What was happening was Sam Darnold had no one to check down to, and he was getting killed out there. And then when you see the last 7 games, when he started coming on, all of a sudden you start seeing more slants, mesh concepts, et cetera, being added into those play calls, and he was having more success, right? So
Gase wasn't helping him out at all.
Gase not helping him at all.
Gase has been living off that Peyton Manning legacy for a minute now.
Yeah, and you would think, I don't even understand why would Adam Gase take that approach when that's the strength of Sam Darnold's game, is the intermediate area of the field.
Well,
I don't understand.
And you had no offensive line on top of all of it.
Wow.
But there's great news. There's great news, great one. There's great news. Tua
Raptors wanted the buzzer.
We have Tua. We're good.
Yeah, great one. Really, I mean, to be honest with you, because see, I saw your video you made after the first day. We got that that report came out about Rosen is quote unquote balling. You and another gentleman, a well-known YouTube individual on YouTube, y'all were, oh my God, y'all were so quick to put them videos out when the good news, alleged good news about Josh Rosen came out. My question to you guys is this: how come y'all are not so quick to respond when all the negative reports come out about Josh Rosen? Why is that? I'm serious. Like, have you done a video on these reports about Rosen on the block, being on the block?
Because beat writers are so quick to put out the negative of Josh Rosen.
Oh, really?
And they really don't like to highlight the positive of Josh Rosen.
So where did you get the report on the first day of training camp when he was balling, quote unquote, balling out, allegedly
hot as fish
balling
grease.
out?
I'll give it to Omar Kelly. As of lately, he's been tolerable.
Cause see, I heard you left work early to go make the video. That's what I heard. Once you got the notification on your phone, I heard you left work early and got home so you can get that positive video out about Josh Rosen being hot as fish grease on the first day. I'm just saying what I heard, bro, in these Twitter streets. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's true. I had to ask that question, bro. That's all.
Why you ain't just call me and ask me like you should have called me and talked to me about Raekwon McMillan getting traded?
Hey, you know what?
I've been meaning to holler at you. I've just been so busy lately.
I think at a certain point, you just don't look at the information day from day. Just look at it in its entirety. And we know that his snaps have been going down throughout training camp. We know that they've basically tried to have him throw the ball within public view as little as possible. So, if you just look at the stats in terms of just production and just, how training camp has gone, if he was not a former first round pick and he was just some guy, we'd be like, yeah, he's on the bubble. He may be on the way out. He may stay. We don't really know. But, even the fact that he was a first round pick is the reason why we're even talking trade considerations right now.
There's value. Yeah. Some value.
Because if he was an undrafted guy, entering his third season with this production in training camp, wouldn't be no trade offers on the table. So I'm just saying, take a look at it in its context. I just don't think being an NFL starting quarterback is in his future. Now, can he be a future NFL player? Yes, he's a current NFL player. Mm-hmm. But in terms of him, I mean, just the idea of him and Kalen Ballage leading this team, it's horrifying. So,
and he reminds me of at Rosen, if he's along the line of I look at him and I look at Mason Rudolph as some very similar players. And I look at Mason Rudolph, he'll be a career backup, from Pittsburgh. For anybody out there that doesn't know who I'm talking about, but they have similar skill sets, and he'll be that type of individual. So.
Mason was a second round pick, right?
Second round pick. But at the end of the day, great one, you and all these Josh Rosen supporters. Our issue, because I can speak for all of us, I think, is that why are y'all so loyal to this player when you have film, you have analytics, you've got your own eye test? Again, me and Havoc talked about Stevie and Ray Charles can clearly see how flawed this player is. I mean, from his base all the way up to his mind. There's nothing to build. There's nothing to establish a foundation upon any aspect of his game. And I don't understand why y'all have this undying loyalty to this player. I can understand your Jason Taylors, your Zach Thomas, even Ricky Williams. He wasn't here that long. But y'all, the loyalty that y'all are showing this player, you would think he was, he's been, kind of that caliber of player since he's been in the league. And he's graded out with some of the worst players to ever play in his position. And I don't understand this undying loyalty. Really, bro. I'm just asking.
Are you done?
Yeah, y'all done, bro.
Go, great one. Go
ahead.
It's nothing to do with loyalty. It's just the fact that us loyal Miami Dolphins fans draw the line down the middle and allow Josh Rosen to compete for the starting
1981 is when it started with me, buddy. 1981.
Why didn't we just let the guy compete from the jump? All I heard was from most of y'all is that Josh Rosen is trash. He does not deserve an opportunity. Let's move on.
He came out hot as fish grease. Like I said earlier, he came out blazing hot.
I still heard hate, Avic. I still heard it.
Well, you gotta let the haters hate, but at a certain point, he came out hot as fish grease. So they were looking at him like, "Hey, keep it going, and you can keep a job here." And he didn't keep it going.
And for the record, he was allegedly hot as fish grease. Allegedly.
Allegedly. And my whole stance on Josh Rosen has been the same since it was on day one in training camp as it is today. His problems, his issues, you're not going to know if they're fixed in practice. You won't know till it's live action, live game. Someone's on the other side of the ball. And the scary thing to me is, and again, I've pointed out Omar, I didn't like how he left certain things out of training camp reports that we saw in other reports. But the telling signs to people should be Omar Kelly on day one and day two, and Josh Rosen looks like he improved. His processing looks like it's better. Omar Kelly on day 4, same old issues with Josh Rosen. I was wrong. His processing is just as bad. And if you're seeing that and you're coming to that conclusion in practice, I am afraid of what conclusion you would come into when he's against, I don't know, the San Francisco 49ers, the Buffalo Bills, Bill Belichick's exotic packages, never mind what players are out there, because he's only lost twice to quarterbacks under the age of 25. And we got a guy who looks like a deer in headlights when what he sees pre-snap is different than what it is post-snap.
Yeah,
Good luck.
But we just came off of 7 years of waiting on Ryan Tannehill. This is my issue. This is my biggest issue. I love the guy. I thought if he was in the right situation, it would have worked out. But we took 7 years to move on from him. Why would we do that again? That's my biggest hiccup with this whole thing. Why would anyone want to invest that kind of time again? In 20 years of losing, that kind of attitude got us to that point. We don't have that kind of time anymore. No one does. No one has that patience. That's my thing. If it was Matt Moore and you were fighting for Matt Moore, I'd say, you know what? At least the guy has done something to win games for us. I have not seen it. I wanted Josh Rosen here. I thought there was a chance that we could hit on him. But there's a time when you have to move on, especially after Ryan Tannehill. That's my whole thing.
What did Kenny Rogers say?
Good point, Ron.
What did Kenny Rogers say? You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them.
And we have Tua.
It's time. Tua. So when Ryan Tannehill was drafted, I could have sworn they said that is going to be a project player.
Yeah,
it was a little bit high for the Miami.
I didn't like the pick.
Me personally, I didn't like the pick either because I thought Matt Moore was doing.
Was any of that associated? Was any of that kind of attitude associated with Rosen when he came out? Any kind of project, 2-3 year project?
No, because when they interviewed Rosen, he said every team that drafted a quarterback before him they were gonna get it, and then he told everyone that he was coming for Tom Brady.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Ryan Tannehill played
Which is ridiculous.
2 years in college.
Humbleness
as quarterback. Rosen didn't have that situation. Okay.
I played the video on this channel that compares what Tua's post-draft comments were to what Josh Rosen's post-draft comments were. And Josh Rosen said, every team that passed on me is going to regret it. And then he also said that he's coming for Tom Brady. And by the signs of it, he meant he was coming for some guy named Tom, not Tom Brady, because he might be coming for Tom at Lowe's who's stocking shelves right now, but he ain't coming for Tom Brady. That's for sure.
Damien, what's wrong with that comment? What's wrong with that comment?
He went out and pooped the bed. He went out.
I don't have no problem with that.
Yeah, but you better back it up, bro. You better back it up, bro.
He didn't even pop. He went out and pooped the bed.
And you call that swag, great one? It's only swag.
I don't call it swag.
That's what you said. That's what you said to me privately.
That was a joke. That was a joke. I call that confidence.
Okay, I'm glad you cleared that up.
I like
it. You cleared that up. Because it's only swag if you can back it up. It's only called swag when you can back it up.
You could look at equally speaking, because a lot of he wouldn't be the first draft prospect coming out on draft day saying I'm gonna light the world on fire. Lamar Jackson, guy that dropped in the draft, was like, I'm gonna show all y'all believe that.
You don't get a Super Bowl out of me.
You're gonna get a Super Bowl out of me. And it looks like he's prepared to back that up.
Rosen's cockiness was on the level of Johnny Manziel when he got drafted.
Oh, yeah. I would say they were on par or maybe even exceeded Johnny Manziel's. His head, dude, oh my God, his ego was ridiculous.
So if a reporter asked y'all today, and y'all were a top prospect player, what number should y'all go? Well, you think you should go? What are you going to say?
This is what I'll
tell you right now.
Whatever Tua said.
Whatever I will. I'm just happy for the opportunity to play in the NFL.
Yep.
Whatever team selects me, I'm
Yep.
happy that they believe in me enough to select me as high as they take me.
Like
Boom.
Tua did.
There's your answer.
Like Tua did.
Just like Tua did. Yep.
I want to go number one. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, but look at
not
Joe
what you said,
Burrow.
though.
Look at Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's pretty arrogant, but even Joe Burrow wasn't out here saying, "Oh, I should go number one," and any team who doesn't draft me and passes up on me is going to regret it. Joe Burrow wasn't
I
even.
want no quarterback with no confidence. I want a winner.
The difference between
Joe Burrow is one of the most confident quarterbacks to come out of the collegiate level in the past couple of
We
years.
got Tua. It's all
And
good.
he should be. And he's got a body of work to substantiate his cockiness.
Yeah, but
the
he
difference between Josh.
but Burrow lets his play talk for himself.
Exactly.
Let his mouth just do the talking.
Burrow had a legendary season too, though. He had like a legendary
difference
season.
That's
One
never.
season. One.
I know,
season.
but it was legendary.
One.
I agree with you on that great one.
It's the
One more
best
than
we've ever seen.
And we sit
It's
back
the
and
best
talk about
we've ever
Dwayne
seen.
Haskins about to be a bust too. So
I never said that.
I agree with you on that now.
No, I
No,
never
great one.
said
I
that.
agree with you.
I never said
I
that.
never said that. You
Don't
can
go
go
lying on me. Don't go
can go
lying
back
on me
to-
like that.
I didn't say y'all said it, but that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, I
never
ain't saying
said
it's gonna
that.
be a bust, but that
No,
one
I-
year thing is what I agree with you on.
Reason why
I'm not sold
me
on
and-
Burrow.
We were just talking about Dwayne Haskins the other day privately, me and
Bro,
Reason. And we were talking about
go back to when we were on the other platform. I used to have to tell those other people that Dwayne Haskins was a good quarterback. And then after he gave his offensive line crap and they started protecting for him, Dwayne Haskins popped off. And here's another thing. Dwayne Haskins has been tearing up training camp.
That's what I heard.
Oh yes, he has. I'm
and he's
from
got
here, Reason.
and
He has.
he's got his body right. You see how shredded that dude is?
And here's another thing, Yim, and what did we talk about privately? How good and how deadly was he in the pocket when it was clean?
He's
And
a,
here's
he's
the
a
He was on
prospect.
Tua's level. He was
And you
on
know
Tua's
what-
level.
You know what the problem is too? And I'll say this. A lot of people look at him, they see that he's black and automatically assume that he's got to be a mobile quarterback and that he's going to run around and stuff like that. But that's not Dwayne Haskins' game, man. Dwayne Haskins
He's not.
is a pure pocket
He
passer,
is.
man. He's a statue.
He
That's what-
is. He is.
He's Josh Rosen with the arm talent.
way better. Yeah, way better arm talent. His anticipation.
Oh yeah.
Way better arm talent.
We'll see where the Washington football team ranks on offense this year with no offensive line.
Well, him and Terry McLaurin. I mean,
Scary
that's
McLaurin.
like that's
Man.
a combination, man.
If he could get him the ball.
Well, I mean, that remains to be seen.
McLaurin was up in the top 3 of rookie receivers.
Before I forget, great one, real quick. Raekwon McMillan, I saw your tweet earlier. I mean, you asked me about Raekwon McMillan. I mean, what are you trying to say there? I don't understand why you brought that up to me directly about Raekwon McMillan.
Hey, great one. I just wanted to call to let you know, I was wrong. Raekwon McMillan did end up getting traded to a different team and didn't stay with the Miami Dolphins and Jerome Baker. Unfortunately, he's still on the roster. Apology accepted. Apology accepted, EM. It's all good. We right and we wrong about a lot of things.
Well, since on this platform we like to be factual, okay? We like to be factual on this platform now. This is not, that other one. Listen, the receipts are out there. The tape is out there. What did I say about 2 months ago when we had our linebacker? We reviewed our linebackers.
Baker
on live. I said when we went through, I said obviously I didn't think Baker didn't have a place on this team. And I still don't. But what did I, in terms of Raekwon McMillan, what did I say? I said this kid is. I love what Raekwon brings to this team, but unfortunately, this is a one-dimensional player on a team that prioritizes versatility, and there's no room on either side of the football on this team if you're one-dimensional.
We stress. If you go back to that show where we did the linebacker review and stuff, we stressed that he had to become better in coverage because he had to become a 3-down linebacker to stand a chance.
Yeah. And I said I don't unfortunately my direct quote was, "It pains me to say this. I take no comfort in saying this about Raekwon McMillan. I don't see him being on the team either." I said that. Go check the tape. The receipts are there, my friend. So if you want to be factual, Okay. So now I understand what you meant by Raekwon Miller. But it's all good, homie. You know I got number love for you, homie. I just gotta call you out on. Hey, I just gotta call you out on your foolishness. That's all. Yeah. That's all. Nothing personal, baby.
Yeah. I mean, it's
All
interesting.
Right. Are we done on Josh Rosen? Can we move on? Now that
Yeah, I think we're done.
15 minutes.
Until it actually happens, we
Tomorrow.
can't really say anything.
Get ready. The clock
Don't
is
sleep.
I don't know, man.
Don't sleep.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. Generally, when you see them trades happen, it's always a paper trail established before. And that paper trail is been established. And I'm telling you, I think we're going to get that notification here sometime next couple of days, bro. Just saying.
The real talk, Great One came on the show and he acted like a man.
Yeah, I give him credit for
That's
that.
real talk.
I give him credit. I
mean, I wouldn't expect any less.
You ain't running like other people when we call them out and come on the platform. You ain't running like a lot of folks. So I give you that. Much respect.
I actually made time this evening.
Excellent.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
Hey, you know what? Every side needs a representative. You know what I mean? Every side needs a representative, and a lot of what we're talking, it's all good-natured fun. We're all out here having a good time, But at the end of the day, I'm looking for that ESPN notification real soon.
I just checked for it now just to see.
Hey,
it's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, get the bus fired up.
So, do we really think if there's no trade for Josh Rosen, people talking about that they're just going to release him? Do we believe that? I don't believe that.
No,
I don't think they'll release him.
Not.
You do?
Well,
I do.
Well,
I do.
I think they anticipate trading him.
If they brought Jake Ruddock in, if he signed, if they can't get anything for him yet, they'll release him at that point. It's all about that Jake Ruddock situation.
You know what? I think maybe just because of the Jake Ruddock angle, it appears that they basically are waiting on it to give him a contract. So he may get released if they can't find a trade partner. And based on his production, can you blame him?
And I would think at that point, I think he would come out and ask for a release if he hadn't already asked for a trade or a release.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would you really want to stick around? The team has been shopping you. You've been playing a PR game, but they made it blatantly obvious the last week or so that he's on the block. So
when Adam Schefter's reporting it, it's good as gold.
Yeah.
Might just put Jake Ruddock on the practice squad.
He's not eligible anymore.
Yeah.
That's where he's going.
If they had players though,
he's not eligible because of the future contract that we signed him to.
And this is his third year now. This is Jake Ruddock's third year, I believe.
They changed the rules for the practice squad.
but I think
just read it last night.
Oh.
Isn't it for twice a year you can do that? If you do it twice, you lose the player. If you pull them off, bring them back on, it's 2 times that they can't be taken from another team, but you do it a third time, you lose that player to the wire.
Are you telling me when you put them on the 55?
No, on the practice squad, because you can.
Yeah, you move them up to the 55 from the practice squad.
But they're saying they can only do it twice.
Yeah. So you can only use a player twice on the 55 from the practice squad before you have to make a decision to keep them or not, basically.
Hypothetically, you could put Fitz on there twice and not lose them. I'm saying because there's no years served anymore, right? For twice a year.
I would think they would we'll have a quarterback on the practice squad and just keep Josh Rosen on the roster.
Yeah.
Well, usually they only activate 2 quarterbacks on Sundays. They don't usually activate all 3.
Oh, trust me, they're activating all 3.
I don't think so. Not if there's no COVID or anything like that.
COVID-19, you're activating all 3.
No, you won't. Not because you'll know by Sunday whether one's out or not.
You can keep all 3 on the roster, but on game day, we're saying like only 2 will be active.
Yeah.
I'd rather see Malcolm Perry out there as the third quarterback than Rosen.
That's you get a lot. You get a lot more versatility.
Be honest, man.
You get a lot more versatility.
We have a better shot of winning, man.
Yeah, can he really give you what Rosen gave us statistically? I mean, that's
give us more.
How can't you?
Well,
how can't you?
Exactly.
Come on now, let's think.
Exactly.
Well,
This
give us conversation just took a turn for the worst.
Yeah, he can.
We can run Wildcat for one game and probably be successful. We can run Wildcat for one game.
I'm being serious. Can he give us what Rosen gave us?
Ronnie Brown gave us better numbers than Josh Rosen.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
we
real
can run
talk.
Wildcat.
That's real talk. That's real talk.
That's real, man. We
That's
can run
real.
Wildcat in one game.
That's real
That
talk.
offensive line when Ronnie Brown was running the Wildcat was pretty nice too.
I think the line's going to make improvement this year, man.
It's funny when Josh Rosen ain't in the lineup, the offensive line gonna make an improvement.
You know what? I know we're about to cut Josh Rosen off. I just want to make one quick statement about Rosen for what was said earlier. The difference between what he said draft day and Lamar Jackson or what like Aaron Rodgers said, and then you compare him with Johnny Manziel is with Jackson and Rodgers, it was passion. It was, I'm going to prove the doubters wrong. With Rosen and Johnny Manziel was arrogance. It was narcissistic. It was a narcissistic attitude. It was
How can you tell?
cockiness.
How
It
can
was
you tell?
entitlement.
We have
There's always been a knock on Rosen and Manziel.
How
We
can
have
you tell?
someone-
How can you tell?
because we have someone that knows the situation and told us that he stuck his head
There's
down.
always been a knock on him.
That's what we were told. You can take it or leave it. I saw it with my own eyes. When you can't determine what a Mike linebacker is, dude.
You know that, right? Great one. Josh Rosen, like up and like I think this is the season when he was able to finally identify what a Mike linebacker is.
Out of his own mouth, he said that he admitted.
Out of his own mouth. Hey, that's
all I leave.
You gotta be able to going into like year 3. You expected to be like a Peyton Manning by year 3?
Yes,
Come on now.
Something
But
that makes a
listen,
linebacker.
but make sure you. But listen,
Bro, you got
but
to
listen.
Yo, you should realistically, you should be able to identify a Mike in fucking high school, bro. Let alone pro level, bro. Are you? This guy can't. That's pretty scary, bro.
I don't
Like,
believe
that-
that.
And,
I
and
don't
listen,
believe
listen.
Bro, what do you
I'm
mean?
sure- listen.
I played at the collegiate level, and you had to identify where I went. We could all identify what the mic was.
I'm saying I don't believe the fact that Josh Rosen doesn't know how to identify the
He
mic.
said
So
that.
he was
He's the one
lying?
who said that.
He's
He
lying?
said that.
I don't believe
own
it.
mouth.
He said that. That's
I
why
don't believe it.
So why would Josh Rosen lie? Why would Josh Rosen lie?
I don't know, but I don't believe it.
But see, now we're getting to the point where now people are saying, "Oh, I don't believe what even he's saying," and it's the player in question. We're actually getting to that level now. Now we're getting into that territory of you know who, bro. So let's not go there.
Come on now. Are you serious right now? You really believe Josh Rosen cannot identify the mic?
He said that.
Say his name.
I'm just saying, you really think that?
You heard what?
Oh man.
You heard what Patrick Mahomes said, right? Patrick Mahomes said it took him a year and a half as a starter to start identifying post-snap changes and exotic packages. He couldn't identify that, and he won an MVP. And he came out and he said that. So yeah, it's because go look at UCLA, bro. The guy was going through offensive coordinators and different coaches. It didn't listen. And you go look at where he is right now. He hasn't improved. He's been pretty consistent across the board from college to where he is now. And little things like that are probably why his game hasn't taken a leap. And now we're actually going to be out here and call the man. Like I said, I don't know the guy from a can of paint, just like EM. But now we're going to see. I'm not about to sit here and start calling this man a liar. Because here's the thing: what does Josh Rosen have to gain by saying that? If anything, that makes him look worse.
Exactly.
It does.
But listen, you know how Rosen made that statement about him not being able to identify things pre and post snap. But when we watch this documentary, because I'm sure I've only seen bits and pieces of it, but the part of the documentary that got my attention was how Tua was making his identifications pre and post snap. I mean, it was a thing of beauty, and I can't wait to see the documentary in full. But I really,
Sunday,
I saw that part of the documentary, and I'm telling you, man, it was like you understand why this kid was so successful at the collegiate level for so long, why he put together that kind of body of work is because the mental aspect of the game, he gets it. And
I'm so tired of having this conversation about this damn documentary.
Okay, well, but you're
he hasn't done anything to deserve a documentary yet.
Oh, look at that hate. Oh, that hate is real.
I
That
mean,
hate is
I
real.
mean,
Look,
hold on a second. Well, I mean, he has outplayed a 3-year vet in camp in only 2 weeks. So I mean,
that's in a documentary.
Can you imagine being 1983 saying that about Dan Marino? Can you imagine that? And do you understand the ground that you're setting up for yourself? I explained that to someone else and they laughed at me. Okay? This is the ground you're setting for yourself. I wouldn't do it even if I thought it. The guy has shown he's a winner. And there's a legacy that comes with him that many people appreciate about him, starting from people in Hawaii all the way to Alabama. He is the most popular player. Not my opinion, and maybe I'm making it up, I guess, according to you. Saban said that, okay? There's a reason why people love him, and there's a reason why
credibility does Saban actually have, though?
He changed the style of play of Alabama football.
Let me ask you this, okay?
And I hate Nick Saban, though.
So let me ask you
me
this.
too.
Well, they changed because if people, again, do the research, why did they change the offense? Because Lane Kiffin scouted him, came back to Nick Saban and said, and I quote, "I found the next Steve Young." Then he went on to produce the best touchdown to interception ratio in college history, and he produced the best passer rating in college history. And some people have even gone on live air who get paid to do this stuff and said he's arguably the best college quarterback they've ever seen. But all of that aside,
that's my quarterback.
Tua Tagovailoa, I mean, the one thing that he can say he's not, and I mean, maybe you're just more excited for Josh Rosen's documentary, bro. And I mean, I'm excited. To see Josh Rosen's documentary. Except a bit of it being on Fox, it's going to be on public access cable television because PBS is all that would pick it up. But I'm really excited to see Josh Rosen's new documentary. The way he squirts a Gatorade bottle into another man's mouth, it'll take his breath away.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
Man, I tell you.
Hell no.
Listen, I mean, I'm really looking forward to this weekend, but the fact that, him being traded is a real possibility. I cannot wait until I get that notification because this has been an exhausting year. Having conversations about this kid. I'll just be so glad when it's just officially put to bed and we can move on. We cannot talk about this anymore. So
yeah.
Come on. I'm waiting. Come on, send me that email, Flo. Send me that email.
Can we actually move on from Josh Rosen now? Because I got a couple other things I want to talk about.
Let's move on.
Okay, I asked it 20 minutes ago and everyone said yes, so let's actually move on.
Absolutely.
So a little news came out today that the NFL informed clubs it will provide a loop of pre-recorded noise specific to each team's stadium that must be played over the PA system in empty stadiums and partially filled stadiums, at least to start the season, at 70 decibels starting at kickoff per sources. So I find that kind of intriguing that they're even doing like specific crowd noise to each stadium. So it's not just like generic, right? So that's interesting.
I mean, it just goes to show you that, EA Sports isn't producing the NFL because they're actually bringing something original to the table as opposed to giving you the same game that pepped up the same 3 years. But the NBA is doing a good job with it. They're putting the sound into their Disney World, and they got the little backdrop with the virtual crowd and all that stuff going on. So, you can't. It would just be so awkward for them to play games in that big old stadium with no noise. That would be so weird. So they had to do something like that, or else it's just like a practice in a ridiculously expensive field. So doing what they can to bring the game day experience with no fans.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I have no thought about this either way. I mean, it's cool. I mean, I noticed it with the NBA, and it kind of brings more of an actual fans in the stands type of
feel for the players,
feel for the game. But once you start focusing on the game itself, that stuff is irrelevant for the most part. So I mean, it's cool, I guess. But at the end of the day, I mean, I could care less. I want the I just want to hear them pads hitting for the most part. So.
All right, so some news and notes from today. Devontae Parker and Jakeem Grant missed another day, so that's about a week with injuries that aren't serious, according to a team source. Kirk Merritt also missed another practice today, and again, yet to be cut, so that's got to be telling you something. Flores said cornerback Xavier Howard has made a lot of progress in his first week since coming off the COVID and pup list. He said he's looked great out there. He's fast, quick, has got to work on techniques, fundamentals, but he's looked good. He's trending in the right direction. The Dolphins still must release 22 players. It's actually 23 by Saturday's 4 p.m. deadline. So, I mean,
Flores players right now.
Yeah, Flores says there may be, I think they're at 76 right now, aren't they?
Yes, you're right. My math was stupid.
Yeah, there may be some anxiety about where's my standing, but the best thing to do is have a good practice and let the chips fall where they fall. Regarding impending roster cuts, we've already had a lot of conversation as staff. I've had these conversations with team executives, Chris Greer and Brandon Shore. We're going to try and make decisions we can based on practices, walkthroughs, meetings. No one is ever perfect. We're going to make the decisions we feel at this moment are the best for the team. And again, this all came out before the trade rumors. Flores said the Dolphins are doing some work on New England, their opponent, on September 13th. He said we obviously started some preparation on them, trying to get familiar with their personnel. They've got some new players we're going to use today to work on some things we have not seen, different looks we haven't seen offensively, defensively. There are some other concepts we need to see more of, and we'll get into the game plan a little later this week. And it was announced today. It's saying it was reported, but Cam Newton will be starting week 1, and he was also named a captain of the New England Patriots. It says here over Jared Stidham, but Jared Stidham has something going on with his ribs, and he's been out for like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
That's shocking.
Flores on what he wants to improve in year 2 as a coach. He said, I'm working on everything, trying to improve on a daily basis in every area of my life, fatherhood, coaching, friendship. These are experiences I had last year that I think about when I try to make decisions. I certainly don't have all the answers. I don't think I ever will. He said, I lean on our coaching staff as far as relationships with players. Those who were here last year, they know how I'm wired. They know what I expect. That's been good as far as comfortability. We have a lot of new players. They're getting to know me, make everyone feel comfortable, but at the same time, coaching hard. And it talks here, receivers Parker and Kirk Merritt, defensive end Shaq Lawson, were not spotted during the 20 minutes of practice that's open to reporters. Grant was suited up and seen doing stretching and fielding punts during early portions of practice, but did not participate in individual drills. Howard is fully participating. Cal Van Noy appeared to be practicing despite last week's hand injury. All 3 quarterbacks were in attendance. Patrick Laird practiced again without a red jersey, so he's back to normal after that shoulder injury from the catch he made off of a Tua Tagovailoa throw. Chandler Koch switched to 25, the number previously worn by Kalen Ballage. So, peace out, Kalen.
Number. Yeah.
That number's bad luck. You might want to switch back to 44, homie.
Yeah. Wow.
So any thoughts?
That's good to hear about Xavier Howard. Looks like he's on his road. Looks like he's on his road back to possibly starting week 1. So that bodes well for the defense. If he can just stay healthy and return to his Pro Bowl form. We've talked about this consistently. That if we have a healthy Byron Jones and an Xavier Howard on the boundary in our secondary, that's going to bode well overall for the defense. And so that's very encouraging to hear about him. And yeah, man, it's good there. And it's not unusual. I kind of figure that generally teams in week 3 of training camp, they start transitioning to starting to get their preparation for their week 1 matchup. So it's good that they're doing that. And yeah, man, it's close. It's really, really close.
7 days for football.
It's really close. Man,
Yeah. I mean, it appears that we're in a situation where I looked into the comment Brian Flores made, particularly when he's talking about Merritt and Parker, and he said that he was glad that he doesn't have to list injuries yet. So that's something to keep an eye on, because obviously at this point in training camp, he doesn't have to tell anybody anything. But, as the closer we get to the game day, he's going to have to start, put out that injury list. And if something's going on, he's going to have to start giving, probables, questionables, things like that. So we'll have to see. But it looks like Kirk Merritt, for a guy that hasn't been on the field much, it appears that he's done enough to make this team probably on the bottom of the depth chart in terms of wide receivers. But it looks like he's done enough to make this team at this point.
How many roster spots? Well, how many players do we have on the roster right now?
76.
76. So you can have 12 players on the practice squad.
16.
Okay. Kirk Merritt gonna be on the practice squad.
Well, the telling sign, and I went over this yesterday, should be to everyone, is that Ricardo Lewis and Chester Rogers are healthy. You could have cut them on Saturday with everyone else, and you could have used their bodies on the third string and just for raw camp bodies when you got to run drills. And they decided, and let's be honest, I don't know if you've been reading the reports every day, great one when they actually were coming out, but Ricardo Lewis and Chester Rogers were flashing since Rogers was brought in and Ricardo was brought back. Like, Ricardo's the one who caught Josh Rosen's touchdown in the scrimmage. And they're getting rid of healthy bodies. And Kirk Merritt's missed a freaking week. And like I said, if you go back to when Fitzpatrick first left and that practice where Rosen and Tua ran the quarterback room, basically that very first one in week 1, 2-3 days straight leading up to that practice, Kirk Merritt was popping up consistently on reports. He beat Nick Needham. He beat Byron Jones for a touchdown. And then he had another, like a 25 or 30 yard crossing route that I think he beat Nick Needham on it or something as well. And then all of a sudden when Fitzpatrick came back, Kirk Merritt was popping up as he's injured. So it looks like he was starting to flash and come on. Then he got an injury none of us know about because no one reported on. And we don't, like with Kyle Van Noy, we know it's his hand because the reporters were there, saw him favoring his hand and holding his hand. No one saw what happened to Kirk Merritt. All we know is he's been basically in civvies clothes for 7 days. So he must have shown something before he got hurt.
I wonder what's going on with Devontae Parker, though. I'm not pushing a panic button or anything like that, but Flores is not about just letting guys just sit out of practice.
Yeah.
So I know the reports are saying that it's not serious and it's precautionary and whatnot, but I don't know. That's 5 practices now that he's missed. So
maybe he's just trying to give other receivers more reps.
That's a possibility.
And yet he's out
Devontae's ready.
And yet he's out here cutting receivers.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's precautionary. At a certain point, maybe if it was in the middle of the season, he might be, at least doing walkthroughs. But I think maybe considering the point of the season where, you're going to get guys going to get banged up as the season goes on. It's like the guys that are already a little banged up from training camp, trying to get their bodies right before the grind starts. Because once that season starts, it's on. Yeah.
And Devontae better be ready because Stephon Gilmore is looking for payback.
Well, Devontae was ready last season. He was ready for last season.
He better be ready because he's gonna be looking for payback. I know I would.
Yeah, but Parker's bringing Preston this time. So
even if they were resting Parker, why aren't they resting Preston then?
That's a good question.
Well, they've had maintenance days, right? Like he's back. Like it's every second day for at least when they were showing us information. He was taking a maintenance day like every second day. He wasn't out every day like Parker's been out.
Right.
So he might be actually injured.
I think he is.
Yeah, I think so.
They said he'll be ready week 1. I saw
But
that on Twitter.
I think it's like a groin or a hamstring, and they're just being cautious with it.
Yeah.
Not all this again, man. That's the only thing I fear about.
I mean, a good number of our wide receiver core have durability issues. I mean, that's just the fact of the matter. You know,
your boy might make the roster now.
From the top of the bottom of the roster. You know, durability
all
issues.
of them do.
Preston to Grant.
The only one is, if you look at, so Parker's got it, Preston's got it, Jakeem's got it, Matt Collins got it, and out of the top 6, the only ones that don't have it are Malcolm Perry and Isaiah Ford.
No, Isaiah Ford blew his knee out back-to-back years. His first 2 years in the league.
Yeah. Oh, really? I don't remember that.
Yeah, so he tore his ACL back-to-back years.
So you're saying all we got is Malcolm Perry.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
And if Albert Wilson was there, he has issues too.
Yeah.
And Alan Earns.
Okay, next subject.
Yeah, right, moving on.
Right? Damn, I know, right?
Yeah, that's getting depressing.
Hopefully, Devontae, it's precautionary and it's nothing to be alarmed about.
Yeah.
Matt Cole, cut yet? Did I miss that?
Say again?
Who was
Matt
that?
Cole. Matt Cole ain't cut. He's still in camp.
He's going to be on the practice squad, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be him, or they're going to be bringing up him or Kirk Merritt with because on game day you can go to 53, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are your potential guys that you would, because Matt Cole, to me, it makes sense because of his ability to really next to Malcolm Perry, because Isaiah Ford has the body where he can play the boundary if you asked him to. Really next to Malcolm Perry, Matt Cole is the only true slot guy we have on the roster right now. But also, I would rather have him returning kicks than Preston or any one of those guys.
I hope they scrap that Preston Williams experiment in terms of, punt return and kickoff return. Stop, man.
Yeah, I think they gave that up after the first day. I think they gave it up after the first day,
I hope so, man. That's how he got hurt last year. It's ridiculous.
That's true. And it's for a guy of his size to have that level of athleticism. Also, I mean, it's like, it's like a Ferrari. It's very high performing, but you jump, you hit the wrong curb and you in the shop for a month.
Yeah.
Or you
get hit by a deer.
Yeah, I mean you twist your ankle and you end up flipping through Wingstop applications. You never know. Although Mac Hollins making the team, looks like he's making the team.
I told y'all. Don't say I told you.
He's gonna be that boundary receiver. Thinking about
and to be honest with you, Mac Hollins has that ability to play all positions in the offense. He can play on a boundary. He's got the size and speed. Threaten DBs deep.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I told you, I'm sleeping on this kid's ability, man.
And he can get you a 10-piece combo on Wednesdays for half price. The guy has nothing but value.
I hear you.
You know what, Em? I'm actually rooting for Mac Hollins because he's from the crib, man. I gotta root for my guys.
But you know the reason why I'm a high on him is when he came out in 2018, I was hoping that the Dolphins would have drafted him. And at that time there was a level of interest, from Miami's perspective, but it was the Eagles had jumped up in the 4th round and got it, or the 3rd round and selected him ahead of us. So I just remember his profile. Remember he his workout at the combine, and I just like the kid's his ability, man.
It's his hair. Admit it.
No, dude.
I actually met him in the barbershop.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, he grew up in Rockville. That's like, it's in Montgomery County, but it's like 15 minutes away from me.
Okay, really? That's what's up.
So I'm rooting for my guys.
They say he has great hair. I've legitimately read that on a Dolphins training camp report. Mac Hollins has elite hair.
That's right. They did.
Yeah.
Just saying.
He's using Troy Polamalu Head and Shoulders.
Right.
What if he pops though? What if we're able to maximize this kid?
What if he
stay healthy?
What if he pops his knee out as well?
I was about to say. Yeah.
Okay. Only way that happens if Preston and Devontae don't end up playing, but I don't see that actually happening. That's
You don't see what now? What's that?
I don't see Mac Hollins getting any type of playing time unless
injury.
Devontae Parker, injury. Thank you, Rhinos. Injury.
Well, I mean, he can be that. I told you. I think his role, he can be this shit
special teams to start off.
Special teams as well, but I think
Mac
he can be
Hollins?
that.
Yeah,
he can be that. He can.
It doesn't sound good, Havoc.
He can be the Allen Hurns of 2020. I think.
You guys have no feelings about Cam Newton?
No, we've already gone over Cam Newton. I've already proven that his best season was because of Christian McCaffrey 2018 since his MVP. And if people are actually out here thinking that James White is going to replace Christian McCaffrey, I got news for you. So here's a couple important dates coming up. So on Saturday, NFL teams must be down to a maximum 53-man roster by Saturday at 4 p.m. On Sunday, final wave players can be claimed until Sunday, noon Eastern. And then 16-man practice squad starts Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. The minimum for rookies is 8,400, and the minimum for vets is 12,000. I'm guessing that can't be full term like contract. If it is, that's really cheap. How are they surviving? I don't think that's full term, but that's got to be like weekly or monthly. There's no way
it's probably monthly.
There's no way that's anyways. So annual reminder, they say here on Sport Track that we'll see veterans released in the next few days with the intention of being re-signed after the start of week 1. So guys, Saturday is going to be a big day. We'll be live here for sure after the cuts happen at 4 p.m. We'll be live, so y'all can count on that. We're about to hit 2 hours here, guys. Before we get out of here, I just want everyone to bow their head and say a prayer to our Lord and Savior, Tua Tagovailoa. We'll give great one a chance to lead us in prayer if he wants right now.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that foolishness.
Ian's not down with that either.
No.
And then I wanted to show everyone. It's not blasphemy when it's the left arm of God. I wanted to show everyone what the future outlook for the AFC East is quickly again, just so everyone has it. This should be probably 2022, I'm thinking.
Oh, my God.
I mean, this could be week 8. I don't know. So, but guys, let's get some final thoughts. We'll start off with EM. I'll let you go last. So, Rhino, go ahead. Final thoughts, buddy.
Kind of an exciting day to know information. So, in one way, it was good to get a little bit some subjects to talk about. It's just 7 days till football, 10 days till Dolphins football, and we're almost there. Go Dolphins!
It's close.
Great one, DeVore. What's on your mind, bro? What's that little hamster turning in the wheel right now?
Look, I'm just gonna say, until this actually trade goes down, that Josh Rosen is going to be out of Miami, I'm just going to continue to be optimistic about the situation. And to piggyback off what Rhino said, can't wait for that first game of the season against the New England Patriots. That matchup between Devontae Parker and Stephon Gilmore is going to be epic. I'm just excited.
Fire.
And Damien, what's on your mind, buddy?
2008 Dolphins could be a real thing this year for us, from worst to first, barring any crazy injuries. Just throwing that out there.
Why can't it be 2016 Dolphins?
Now I want to win the division.
Oh, okay. Good point. I'll take that.
Because that's a possible thing this year. I just don't trust Buffalo. I don't trust their offense. It's a possible thing this year.
So you're just gonna rule out New England?
Oh, that's a win week 1. Our defense against Cam Newton.
Oh, okay. Don't jinx me. Don't jinx us.
That's a real thing.
Havoc, what are your thoughts, bro?
I mean, you already know. It's Fins up all day. Shout out to Australia. It's good that, a very hot topic in the Dolphins universe. We're going to be able to put possibly some cold water on it in about a week or so. And then we can move forward into what the real future is. And the real future is our developing O-line, our young quarterback, our defense that I think on paper has top 10 capabilities easily. So you already know what it is, man. Fins up all day. Shout out to Australia.
Man, that's what's up. No, I just want to thank everybody again. Well, thank everybody for coming on the panel. Always family, Rhino, Havoc, you know what it is, Damien, and also to the homie, the great one, for coming out and taking his medicine this evening. And appreciate everybody's contributions. But again, man, it's close. We're 10 days away, and this Devontae Parker issue is kind of somewhat concerning for me, but hopefully, again, it's nothing serious, because in 10 days, man, again, that Stephon Gilmore is looking for payback. And I think a healthy Devontae Parker is going to bode well for us overall as a team in terms of us being a legitimate contender for the division this year. And yeah, man, y'all already know what it is. You know what time it is, all day, every day. Appreciate all the love and support in the comments as well. Y'all family, man. Y'all family at the end of the day. So it's always fins up, baby.
Guys, we got 116 watching live right now. We peaked at around 130. We've got 74 likes, guys. I want y'all right now, those of you who haven't, smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't. As far as subscription goes, guys, I mean, it's climbing steadily here. Over the last month alone, guys, we've been jumping pretty nicely, because just over the last 28 days alone, we've managed to gain 169 new subscribers. So we are 8 away from hitting 1,200 right now, when we only hit 1,100 just about 5 weeks ago. When we just hit 1,000 about 5 weeks ago. So, all of you guys that are new here, keep hitting that subscribe button, keep it locked here, because the content's going to keep coming. Smash that like button, like I said, if you haven't yet. If you want to donate to the channel, paypal.me/Phinside. If you want to become a Phinside the NFL patron, patreon.com/Phinside the NFL. And as usual, shout out to all of our Patreons, Infinite Trauma and Rhino Sith being the original OG ones, Fake Spike 94, Joe B, KA All Day, Ramon Casillas, Seth, Mr. Two Bits, and of course Shake Money. Appreciate each and every one of you for being Patreons, guys. And there's still a couple spots left in the free league. We're drafting tomorrow night. If you want to join, just email me, FinsideTheNFL@gmail.com. But the pay league is filled up, guys. Other than that, final thoughts from me on this situation are, the writing, we told y'all guys, the writings was pretty much on the wall when his snaps started getting reined back, and it looks like it's progressing. Before the COVID strike thing hit, when we did that bus show, we talked about the possibility of him not making it out of training camp. I thought he'd be gone by the trade deadline, and it looks like it's a real possibility that Josh Rosen might not be a Miami Dolphin when he wakes up on Sunday. It is what it is, man. We read the updates to you guys earlier. He's quarterback 3 right now, even if he does stick around. That's pretty much the general consensus. So it is what it is. For me personally, once he's gone, it'll be nice, because I'm with EM. I don't understand what the love affair with this kid is. He hasn't given you tape. He hasn't given you analytics. He's literally given no one any crutch to lean on except the Texas A&M game from 5 years ago now. So that's where I'm at with Josh Rosen. It is what it is. He's been more of a headache to me personally than he has been a positive to this team, and that's been not only on the field, but with the crap we've had to put up with these Josh Rosen truthers. Josh Rosen truthers, for the most part, I've said this before and I'll say it again, they're the same people who didn't want Tua Tagovailoa and we're pushing back on Tua. So it is what it is. I'm not saying great one. I'm not specific, but for some people, it's turned into I want to be right on Josh Rosen and you guys to be wrong about Tua. And I mean, we've been right about Tua from when me and EM hit the YouTube platform in October all the way to it's now September 3rd. So almost a year. We're at 11 months of me and EM being consistent about Tua, whether it be the tape, this team's desire to take him, people wanting to jump off a ledge after a few days in training camp. He bounced back with some huge days. He's been consistent since he had that. He's had one bad practice since he had that first bad practice. And coincidentally, his only two bad practices have been when Fitzpatrick is nowhere to be found in the facility. So that's where I'm at with this whole situation. I'm ready to move on. I'm good to go. It's a headache that to me ain't even worth having, let alone buying a bottle of Tylenol over. So it is what it is with Josh Rosen. I mean, at best, he's QB3. That's the reality of the situation. At best, he's QB3. At worst, he wakes up Sunday and he's not a Miami Dolphin.
I guess we got them haters coming down in the comments.
Oh,
I can good.
Oh man,
care less.
It's all good. It's all good.
I could care less. You know what? At the end of the day, those haters are still giving me views on our video. So, All right.
It's all good.
As usual, guys, we'll let y'all know if we're back tomorrow night or not. There might be some Madden. There might not be. We'll let y'all know. But until then, as usual, fins up all day, every day.
All day, every day, baby.
We'll see you guys soon. And if we're not back tomorrow, you can bet your ass we'll be back here around 4:30 on Saturday after the cuts happen. Peace out, everyone.